Hello, my name's Shannon Seymour, and welcome to an introduction to the growing brain. I'm going to walk you through the growing brain curriculum and how we deliver it here at the Wellness Center over the next couple of minutes. So I appreciate you joining me to learn more about this incredible program. The Growing Brain was developed by 0 to 3, a nonprofit organization dedicated to research, education, and policy development with the goal of advocating for the needs of children under the age of 5. The brains of newborns are 1/3 the size of the adult brain at birth, and the years between birth to age 5 represent an incredible and powerful period of brain growth and development. The Growing Brain curriculum is anchored in brain science and developed specifically for early childhood educators, parents, and caregivers to ensure that the adults who interact with young children have the knowledge that they need to ensure that they're helping to develop healthy brains. The Growing Brain provides early childhood educators and parents with an important opportunity to learn how the brains of infants and young children develop and how the everyday interactions with caring adults and the environment can contribute to things like language and communication, learning and play, as well as social and emotional development. There is a wealth of research from fields such as neuroscience, psychology, infant mental health, child development, education, all of which demonstrates the critical period of brain development that takes place between birth to 5 and the important role of caring adults in the lives of young children. Brain architecture creates the foundation on which all future learning takes place. Strong brain architecture is dependent on the interactions that a young child has with their environment and with the caregivers that they interact with. Healthy brain architecture ensures that children, as they grow, have the capacity to cope with all of what life is going to bring their way. The good things, the stressors, the opportunities for learning, the challenges, the hurdles. When we can grow healthy brains, we have young children who have the capacity to be resilient and the capacity to succeed as they grow up. The Growing Brain curriculum is it's a 7-unit certification curriculum, like I said, that was developed by 0 to 3. We deliver it in 2 different options. There's 3-hour units, 7 units each for a 21-hour total for early childhood educators. This results in an early childhood educator Growing Brain certification. And for parents and caregivers, we modify that to an hour and a half, and so a 10.5-hour curriculum for parents and caregivers. The early childhood educator one is slightly longer because we're looking at digging into activities that early childhood educators can implement within their classroom settings, ways that they can structure their classroom delivery to facilitate some of what we know contributes to healthy brain development. So what is the Growing Brain? There are 7 units. They are designed to really provide learners and participants with a gradual awareness of brain development that starts with the brain basics. So in this unit, we focus on learning about major brain structures. We learn about how the brain actually develops. We learn about neural connectivity between brain regions that are imperative for things like learning and speaking and moving and playing and interacting. I want to preface this by saying this is not a neuroscience class, and so the information is delivered in a really, really digestible and accessible way. There's lots of videos and graphics that make it really easy for all of us to understand the content. In Unit 2, we focus on looking at factors which impact healthy brain development. This could include things like understanding the role of toxic stress in the lives of young children, nutrition, environment, and of course, those all-important relationships that young children have with caring adults. Unit 3, we look at language and communication. We look at how it starts from the moment of a baby is born and the way in which interactions with adults prime and develop and create opportunities for the emergence of language and communication. We learn about things like serve and return, and we look at the 5 steps of healthy communication development. In Unit 4, we discuss the foundations of all future learning and executive functioning as core factors of early brain development. Almost every parent I meet wants their child to have academic success. And what's really important and what we often don't quite understand is that what happens during the period of 0 to 3, before a child even steps foot in compulsory education, is probably the most important experiences in their life that are going to impact and direct all future learning outcomes. So we're going to talk a lot in Unit 4 about how to make sure that we are setting children up for academic success and future learning outcomes. In Unit 5, we dig into how brains of young children prepare them for good social and emotional well-being. In a period of human existence where mental health problems are at a rise, this is critically important. As a clinical psychologist and developmental specialist, I see the interconnection between early childhood experiences and future mental health outcomes. And we're going to talk a lot in this unit about the things that adult caregivers can do and the ways that an environment can be structured to really support good social and emotional development in young children. In Unit 6, we look at behavior. This is always a hot topic for little kids. How do we understand behavior? Where does behavior come from? And how does a child's behavior tell us about what's going on inside their brains? And so we spend a lot of time looking at what we as the adults can do in terms of the environment and the interactions with young children to ensure that their behavior is understood and that we are shaping their behavior in a way that is going to be helpful for them. Unit 7 kind of brings it all together. We're talking about everyday play. Play is the work of childhood. Play is the way children work out all of this thing. And play is really how we see the health or ill health of children on display. And so we learn about the critical role of play in healthy brain development and the types of play that support neural development and brain architecture. So there's a lot to be covered in those 7 units. So how do we deliver this? It sounds like a lot of information, and it is, but the training groups are very interactive and they're very fun. There's lots of activities. Like I said, there's use of really easily digestible information, role play to enhance our learning experiences, sharing, telling stories, giving examples, make for a really rich learning environment. The participants are given a certificate of completion at the end, and the Growing Brain is designed really to be 7 standalone workshops. So if somebody wanted us to come in and just deliver, for example, Unit 7 on play, we can do that. We prefer to do all 7. There's a far more robust learning experience that comes from all 7 units, but we certainly can provide 1 unit at a time. We've partnered recently with LIFE, which is the nonprofit organization Literacy is for Everyone, in delivering Unit 3 on language and communication, because we know that language and communication development is at the very foundation of literacy. And so we partner with LIFE to deliver that unit as frequently as we can, because we know the importance of language and communication 0 to 5 and future literacy skills in young children. Each participant at the end of every unit, whether they do 1 single unit or all 7 units together, is going to receive a participant manual. This is a takeaway. This lets you have at your fingertips all of the information that we covered, so you don't have to worry about memorizing stuff or worry that you won't have access to resources after you do the training. And we always provide at the end a caregiver video resource library, which is dozens and dozens of videos that we have cultivated and we've put together and categorized across these 7 units so that caregivers, parents, early childhood educators can continue on the path of educating themselves related to this important period of brain development and brain architecture growth. So the participants of the Growing Brain, what are they going to learn? Why is it important? Well, really, there's three sort of critical skills takeaway. They're going to learn how to support early brain development, and they're going to learn the importance of brain architecture and what it really means and why it's so critical to future outcomes for children and adults. They're going to learn how to support language, cognition, and learning. We know that one of the major areas of developmental delay is in, speech and language, cognition, and learning. And so if we can really equip early childhood educators, our nannies, our helpers, even young parents, old parents, new parents, with this information, they're going to be better equipped to facilitate and support the brain growth of their young children. And we really want to support adults to understand the importance of their role in healthy social emotional development. We know more than ever the importance of mental health and the importance of sort of social and emotional well-being in young children. And what sometimes people misunderstand is that the roots of that good mental health are laid down in early childhood. They are laid down in this critical period of brain development, which is 0 to 5. So, who are our trainers of the Growing Brain curriculum? Myself, my name is Shannon Seymour. I have a PhD in psychology with an emphasis on developmental psychology. I'm an infant mental health specialist. We also have Alyssa Archer Cooper, who's a psychology assistant. She has a master's in educational psychology. And Emily Scott, who is a child development team lead on our developmental support services team. She's a board certified behavior analyst, and she's a growing brain facilitator. And so we each bring our own areas of expertise, our own practical experiences and career experiences, personal and cultural experiences to the Growing Brain curriculum. And so if you're interested in the Growing Brain, you can scan this QR code and register for our next Growing Brain course. We look forward to seeing you. Take care.